So my locals has recently been doing these Duelist Kingdom style events where like every week you start with 3 star chips, and then based on, wins and losses, you accrue star chips over the length of the season, and then there's a top 4 event. So I'm going to be featuring as many of the top 4 deck profiles as I can on the channel. I know my friend Scott, who I mentioned in the Gravekeeper deck profile, got second at the event and will be out of town, so I won't be able to get the physical deck profile. So we'll be doing a dueling book list for him right here. And then hopefully, basically, I'll be able to get physical deck profiles next week. One somewhat important thing I forgot to mention, the first place deck profile from Yi Chang Lee will be on the Edison Club channel, because Mike had the baby and I'm not trying to steal the engagement in any way, but I'm kind of trying to fill the niche a little bit and get some deck lists still posted. So yeah, without further ado, that's me talking for more than 30 seconds for the YouTube engagement. So yeah, thank you and enjoy.
So here is Scott's actual list. This is modeled after Oscar Ruano's first place list from RBT LA, kind of because Scott thought that in the top 4 there was going to be a lot of Vayu Turbo. We thought that Adam Urig, who pretty much mains Vayu Turbo, was going to be in the top 4, but then he had to drop out of the event, basically, and was replaced by Yi Chang, who ended up winning the tournament, which is kind of funny. But yeah, we also thought that perhaps Sasha Egger, who often plays Vayu Turbo, would be on it, but he ended up playing a completely different deck as well. So, yeah, Scott was pretty teched out for Vayu Turbo, made some slight adjustments at the last moment because he heard that Johnson Boss was going to be on Dragon Turbo and not GBs, actually, which ended up being true. And we may have that list if he doesn't want to scrub that night of Yu-Gi-Oh! From his memory, basically, based on how it ended up actually going. Anyway, on to Scott's list that we're here to talk about. 1 Kaiku in the main deck. He was on 2 when he thought that it was going to be a bunch of Vayu. He ended up going down to 1, and then he put this Crow in the main deck. Scott's kind of known for playing Crow in the main deck anyway, but he told me specifically that he did, in response to finding out that Josh would be on Dragon Turbo, he put a Crow in the main deck. And then he made additional room for Crows in his side deck. Also in response to, I guess, learning that he'd be on Dragon Turbo, he put this Karma Cut in the main deck instead of 1 additional D-Prison. 2 Compulse, love that card personally, and again, this is basically because he kind of thought there was going to be a lot of Vayu, and he could only make so many adjustments at the last moment, Phoenix Wing Windblast ended up being involved in an incredibly cool play that I guess I'll talk about in a moment. But yeah, basically, given that it's a top 4 event and there's only 4 people involved, you're able to tech out your deck pretty hard. So between the side and main, there's a lot of kind of like, targeted side deck cards for what he thought was going to be in the meta. It ended up being Christia Sworn, Dragon Turbo, and just pure Blackwings as the other 3 decks. So he felt like he was kind of underprepared for Blackwings, which is the deck that he lost to in the finals. He said it was a pretty high power finals that he had with Yi Chang. One of the cool plays he did basically was at one point he had dust shooted Yi Chang, so he had full knowledge of Yi Chang's cards. So Yi Chang knows that Scott knows that he has Oppression and Solemn set. So Scott goes Diva, activate effect. So Yi Chang obviously responds with Oppression. So Scott chains Phoenix Wing Windblast to that Oppression. And obviously Yi Chang knows that Scott knows he has Solemn Judgment set. So doing that play, Scott was able to basically bluff that he had either his own Judgment or 7 Tools of the Bandit, because like I said in my Gravekeeper deck profile, Scott is like known for loving 7 Tools, so he was able to basically successfully meme and condition our local meta into him being able to just flip a Phoenix Wing Windblast while his opponent had Solemn and his opponent not responding with the Solemn, basically, which was pretty cool, basically. He ended up not winning the match, obviously, but that's a cool play that he wanted me to highlight. But yeah. So yeah, he beat Christia Sworn in his first match, played by Sasha Egger. I guess there was sort of some memery near the end. I don't actually know the details on that. That's not something that he provided in the details, but I heard people talking about it as I walked into the event. But yeah, this is Scott's list. Shout out to him for getting second place, winning a box of the new set. And yeah, this is the teched out Diva hero list meant to beat Vayu Turbo. He also stressed that he would not recommend this version as just a deck to play. This was super teched out for this specific cool little Duelist Kingdom meta. And yeah, this is deck hopefully one of 3 that I'll be featuring on my channel. Be sure to check out Yi Cheng's deck on the Edison Club channel once that is uploaded there. Thank you for watching, and peace.